Good morning. Welcome back to another market update. We are going to look at February of 2025 South Central Kansas statistics. So, yeah, interesting start to the year so far. We've got all the political stuff going on. I think as I'm filming this, because it's a little bit after February, we're going through the Tesla attacking the cars right now. So, yeah, lots of upheaval this year. So let's see how the real estate market is handling this. And of course, when I say that, I'm really looking at Wichita, Kansas. So we don't rise and fall as much as the other big cities, which is great. A little more stability here. So yeah, let's check it out. So closed listings are actually up. We're gonna do a highlight here, and then we'll go more into detail with the cool graphs, and we'll get to that median. Well, we'll get to the median price point pretty quick. 1,200 ish, so up 36% of the active listings, which is awesome. 40% of month supply. That's great news. Now, I will say right now, it just hit a low with the stock market, so that's going to reflect on real estate as well. If any of you are out there are cryptocurrency purchasers, I've gotten into the XRP. I know that hit low, so I was excited because it's like it means I can buy more. But expecting it to go up and up and up down the road. So yeah, the stock market had a really bad weekend because I'm filming this April 8th. Yes, I'm filming it a little bit later than normal for the February. But we usually get this mid-March. So yeah, so with that said, I'm kind of saying that's why there's a lot more inventory, which is great now. It's just, people are a little wary of what's going on with the not real estate, with the politics. The eggs are at least back down a little bit, but just the upheaval that's going on in society and the instability with economic stuff right now. The tariff started. That's what I'm trying to say. So the tariff started, the External Revenue Service, as he's calling it. So that is affecting the real estate this year. So we'll watch. That's kind of what we're looking at. So yeah, when you see too much supply, I would think the buyers would be out hitting it hard. But again, still a lot of them have those low interest rates and just the instability right now that we're seeing. So new listings are actually down 5%. That could be since things weren't selling great last year, construction might have slowed down a little bit. Contracts written, so that's future sales, were down 11%. So, okay, so closed listings were up. Contracts written are down. I'm going to bet that's going to be a little bit of how we're seeing it down the road, only because again, the upheaval that's really kind of with the tariffs going on, that's in the stock market down. So again, people may be holding off on their home purchases, possibly unless they are ready to go and they're just fine. Sales volume is up 8%, so that looks good. Median sale price still keeps creeping up here in Wichita. That's got to stabilize in the next year or so, I would guess. Median days on market is up a lot from last year, just like January was up. And so anyways, let's go down to more of the details, specifics, because that tells us a little bit better of a story. Again, this just kind of shows some of the same numbers in a different way, like up here. And this looks over year to date. Since we're in February, this will include, January and February. So 432, 426, 434. So fairly stable on home sales. Up, 1.9%. Active listings, though, check that line from 23 and then going left, 703, 897, 1226. So that's great news. That's, 2023 was a year of multiple offers and, writing 10 offers for each buyer that we had and then missing out on it. And then them having to not do contingencies, buy it as is. So yeah, in 2023, you could have a little bit overpaid for a house. Potentially, of course, Wichita, we're okay. Big cities, you would have paid a lot more over asking, but here, still probably might have paid a little bit over due to the market. But yeah, look at that, 1.1 to 2.1. We've doubled since 2023 for month supply. That is so great to hear. Not as much for sellers, but for buyers. And to be honest, an even market does work out for both because a lot of people are buying and selling at the same time. So even though you're not getting as much from sales of your house, you're able to at least not put a ridiculous amount into a purchase home. New listings still up as well, 622. from 552 2 years ago, and contracts written down a little bit. So let's go down to the median sale price. Now, this was the surprising one. We'll see a chart a little bit lower just to check out, well, each month, because it's January, February. Very interesting, very different from the last couple of years. So you got 2020 2 years ago. Now it's kept increasing to 231 to 240. So, 20K over 2 years ago. And just, 220, 230, 240. It keeps in, 2, 3, 4 days on market. Now, this is interesting. It's a lot of days on market. 6, 9. I'm not used to seeing 18 days on market ever. But then again, you look at the last couple of years, which is such low inventory. So, but still, 18 is a lot. And and look at, so 98 point. This is the first time I've seen this number, percent of the original list price. So people are getting deals. I definitely have been able to with my buyers. I've got about 5 right now. But that also means if you're selling a house, you're not going to want to sell it as high. That's definitely gone down a little bit. But yeah, everything for the last many years, we're selling at 100%. So seeing 98.6, it means they're not asking for full price. They're going under and asking for closing costs again, as long as there's not multiple offers. And see February. So let's look at the median sale price, 231 to 240. And, again, 9 to 18. A 3.6 increase on that. And percent of original, we just talked about that. History of closed listings, yes, it's down as it usually is at this time of the year, although January looks even down a little bit more than the other years. And closed listings by month. So 394 last year was up a little bit, and it's gone the lowest. January was the lowest in the last 2 years, only by 2 from 2023. 434. So it's actually increased from last year, the number of listings. So 426 to 434, that's a good amount of increase, actually. And that's February. Granted, I think the weather was maybe bad in January. That always can affect it, and some sunshine came out in February. Let's check out closed list. Let's see where the bulk is. Same as always, 200K to 400K. It's almost fairly even across each of these rows in the 16, 17 percentile. So that's where the bulk of ours are. And of course, new builds are in there as well, maybe 300 to 400. And you go over here, median days on market, 11, 18, 12. Continuing on to the price. So we look at the median price, even though they give us the average price, but this is just more reflective. So yeah, check it out. Just look at January, February. The prices are higher. It stays right even at the 240 mark for January and February. So you can see just from January, I mean, the prices of homes, median price has definitely increased. So and that's what shocked me. I think it was last month, so I hadn't really looked at February as much, but from 200K, I don't usually see a 400K increase. Like the 10K, maybe a 20K, 25. Like if you look at that, like 250 to 251, 245 to 252, 235. It's like that's a pretty big one. 35, like a 15K one. So that's why, and that was flat. This one, 27K increase. That's why when I'm seeing a 40K, I'm like, wow. That January blew me away when I did that market report a while back. And so 231 to 240. So I expect this to somewhat even out. But yeah, those were high prices, which is funny because I just felt like buyers weren't really buying, but they could have been at the higher price points, the new builds or something like that, to just get that such a steep increase. All right, now days on market, these have definitely increased. Check this out. So yeah, I'm used to seeing the 4s, from all that time, 5, and that's granted, that's summertime, that's peak season, but 22. I'm even last year hitting this 15 at the very end of last year, 15 days on market. So now, of course, when I say that, when you're going to go after one that is like that perfect remodeled one and everybody bids on that, it gets multiple offers every time. It's the other ones that need some updating or some fixing. Those are the ones that take some time to sell, or they're overpriced, not priced properly, or not factored into what the market's doing at that time. You didn't adjust properly, like, come down. If it's priced too low, you're going to get multiple offers potentially, or they'll sell faster. But yeah, so 22 to down, that's a long. That's why it shocks me that it was 40K. Like the chart we just looked above at, that it was 200 to 240K. So the price increased incredibly, but yet the days on market. So that figure just doesn't match in my head. But again, weird year, political year, and of course, right now with just chaos going on, Tesla's being firebombed or whatever they're doing to them. So 18 days on market, and of course it'll start going down because we are in the peak season, and I feel like a bunch of people are out there. And Parade of Homes that's coming up at the end of April, first 2 weeks of May this year, just to give you a heads up on that. And here we've got active listings. This is a great number, 24. Look at that, 897 to 1200. So it keeps going up, and that's what we want because people still have their 2s and 3s interest rates, and some of them aren't budging. Others, yes, depending on life stuff like having a baby, getting married, divorced, needing to upsize, downsize. So, or go to a 1-story, as you get older, you might want a 1-story main floor laundry. So in that case, they're still buying. Okay, continuing on. So yeah, look at that. That's a good direction to see it in. History of active listings, it's going up and up and up. So that's great news. That's the chart we wanted to see. And active listings by month, again, even January increase. Although I think at the very beginning, I think something I can't remember the stat, so I'll hold off till I see it. Active listings by price range. So look, we got 21, just because it's fun to look at, $21 million houses and up, with the median one being at 1.2 million. I always put that in my email that I send out to my past clients and potentials, just to look at the pretty $1 million houses around Wichita and Derby and all of the surrounding areas. It's always fun to look at. Castaway, Flint Hills, again, and those will some of those new builds will come up on Parade of Homes, which is the home tour of all the new construction. If you want that booklet when it comes out, it's not ready yet. Give me a holler, shoot me your email. I will send it to you, so you can track your map on where you want to go and what homes you want to see all over town. Mostly on the outskirts, because of course new builds are a little bit on the outskirts. Here's Wichita, and then they're all on the outskirts. And like I said, there's the maps are in there, very easy to understand. So, but give me a holler if you're interested in that. All right, so active listing, 21 there, and look at that, 266 in the 300 to 400. So I bet there's a bunch of new builds in there. So those are all active, in case you are actively looking right now. Then let's get to this median. This is list price. So yes, definitely higher than the sold ones, which is what we looked at the top. Basically about 300,000. So that's down median price from last year. 329 and even, woo, look at that. Okay. We are getting affected. So these are active listings, by the way. They're still active, not the sold ones. But so it looks like prices are coming down here, even in Wichita. 345, 329 for the active, and now it's at 300. So that's on a good note, good time to buy then. Median prices that are active are showing lower right now. Interest rates 6.6, I think I saw the other day. And by the way, I do have a new lender that I'm working with. Super excited. And maybe I had not seen a 5.99 conventional rate. I have a current client that had his local bank gave him a 6.5, a big bank here in town. And then this new lender that I started working with, 5.99. A credit score had to be above 700, but yeah. So yeah, I'm good. And they can close very quick. Just closed with a friend of mine in Texas, 2 weeks on an FHA, even flipped it to conventional before closing, but still can do it under 30 days quick. If both parties, in that case, both parties wanted it quick. So again, can fine tune it. But yeah, that was great. So, but anyway, 6.6, I think is what I heard. And then is where we're at for mortgage rates when I looked just a couple days ago. So that'll be interesting to kind of keep an eye on. But yeah, so prices. So look at the blue line over here to the left. Median price for active listings. Before we saw the actual sold listings, and so that was above the last 2 years, but here the median price for the active listings is below. So interesting, very interesting statistics we have here. And then this is again median days on market for active listings. I'll just keep repeating that because when you go through this chart or this booklet, they're each talking about a specific difference. And since you can't see the title when we're looking through it, the video. So median days for the active listings that are right now, definitely a lot longer. The closed ones go faster because they're closed, and everyone goes after the fully remodeled, nice, lower priced ones. Oops, didn't mean to pass that. Month supply by month. History of month supply. And then so let's get into these are new listings. Looks like we're down in new listings. That's what that very big first chart showed. Again, I think that might have been because last year people were not buying as much. The new builds might have started slowly not building as much due to the lack of purchasing going on. So new listings, 622 compared to 655 last February. Although January, okay, they had a bunch of those compared to last year. Oh, that's a high number. Look at that, 532 to 6. Sometimes as you can see, I go to these later pages as I'm doing this. So yeah, shocking. Huge increase. Well, maybe that's affecting why it's lower than this February. And again, this year's an interesting year. New listings by price range. So they got 7 that came on board in February. So that means 7 new $1 million homes. I think I've posted a couple of those, or maybe not. 7, and then new listings, 115 in the 3 to 399 range came on. And again, like that, just that pocket of 200 to 400. Median price of new listings. So the median price of new listings is around 250, which is higher than last year. And in January was higher than last year as well. So looks like about 10K. And January was 4K higher. February looks like it's about 10-ish K higher. And that was for median price for new listings that came on in February, since that's the month we're looking at. Contracts written were 569 February of 2024, down a bunch, down about 60-ish. So a lot less contracts written compared to last February. And weather can affect stuff like that as well. So it's you got to take, cumulative information into play. Market, political really affecting this year right now. Weather affects it, especially January, February. Whether it's a colder or warmer month. I think, in fact, was last year a warmer month in January, which again, people would get out. I know I had a hard time finding a buyer a house. They were really ready in January and February. They had to sell their house too. So that, not the best of weather didn't really help. And there really were not a lot of, it felt like in what they were looking at, houses in the price range or in the school location that they were interested in. So contracts written by price range in February. So there was only one contract written in the $1 million range, not closed, but written. And it looks like it was 1.3 million. So we don't know what it was written for, but it looks like it was on the market for 39 days, just to kind of give you a scope. And let's see, contracts written. So the highest one here is in the 250 to 300. 91 contracts were written in that range. And then right after that, you've got the 3 to 400, just to kind of give you an idea of who's writing contracts right now for what price ranges. And contracts written. So the contracts written for the median price. So people wrote at the 245K median price, which was higher, about 5K higher than last year. And then January, again, just going over those figures, people were writing contracts a little bit higher than last year, 242. Hence why I guess January and February are up higher in the price point for closed sales than what we originally looked at the very beginning of this video. Contracts written as of February, the ones that were written in February, looks like they were on median days on market was 14. So again, look at like 6 last year, 14 now, 9 last year, 19. Yeah, January was not moving much. Cold, as far as I recall. Cold, and it was snowy. We had what? Didn't both those months we had 2 weeks of snow that just didn't go away? Yeah, I remember that now. It's coming back. That's why the sunshine is glorious right now. And pending contract analysis. So, okay. Yeah, still at the lower range for pending contracts compared to the chart that went up earlier for the increase in houses. Pending contracts, looks like 679 total. We saw the price ranges earlier. So it was down from last year for February, but it was up for January. So, like I said, and that was cold in February. So, pending contracts by price range 3. So written is stuff that was written, and then pending, it's already it's still under contract. It was pending in February. It wasn't written in February. It was pending. So still 3 going, and they could be 30 days. I mean, they can they could be 40 days. Who knows? So the 3 that have been pending include, I think, the one that was written, the 1.3, and then a couple others look like they're still pending in February. Again, that's the $3 million one. And let's check out where the high point is. Yeah, the 250 to 300. 128 are pending. Again, they could be, 30 days, a little bit longer, a little bit less. Who knows? So let's just kind of wrap it up. Well, one more here, and then we'll kind of just wrap it up. Median price for pending is even higher than the ones that were written in February. So the ones that were pending, again, they could have been pending from January, February, or from February to March. So that's what changes the dollar value, $264,950. Anyway, so yeah, there you have it. It's gonna be interesting. I'll keep you posted. If I could find I just want to look at I don't know where it is on that. Anyway, I was gonna look up the mortgage information to see where we're at with as of today, but I'll hold off on that. Do it the next one. Try to have it pulled up. But yeah, so this year's going to be just interesting all around with just the political stuff going on, the tariffs starting, how that's going to affect home building, people's income, the stability of the market, of the political, just general USA. Of course, Wichita, we're a little bit more stable. Don't know, haven't seen any huge fluctuations on any companies coming here or letting go anything as of recently. So just a Tesla got damaged here in Wichita. We did have one of those recently. So anyway, hope you, if you want any more specific information, as always, just reach out to me, and hope you got some value out of this, and we will talk to you soon. Reach out anytime. Have a great one.